So how this was built out of concrete block, standard concrete block, and we use what's called surface bonding. There's material, it's like a stucco you put on both sides. It's very owner friendly because you just stack the block. And then on both sides you put the surface bonding. They used to use it to make cisterns. And so it makes it waterproof, and it's stronger than a mortared block. And it's easier. The only problem is if you don't stay level as you're building your things, you get out of line. So this whole thing was supposed to be concrete block. But I stopped right here with the concrete block and went up with wood just because it was getting too hard to get level. And it just made it quicker and easier for me to do from here up. So this is concrete block. And then this is fiber cement. Fiber cement is fireproof, rot-proof, bug-proof.
And about how long did it take you to build this? Did you do your own plans, and was it?
I did, it's all, the plans are in my head. I did it all myself. I mean, I have construction experience from when I was younger. I used to put up steel buildings and work some construction, so I had basic skills. But it's nothing that a person that has some basic skills, basic tools can't do.
Do you know about how much it cost you in materials?
Probably this building, because it does have a little bit of a basement, it's probably about, with the solar panels and everything, this is probably about $5,000.
With the solar panels?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm not counting my labor.
Right.
Or my kids' labor. I had two boys, so the labor is not factored in. So if you come back here, you can see the solar panels really well. So I have 980 and 190 watt solar panels that are tiltable, and this provides power for the pump. And I have AC power inside the building, refrigerator, microwave, tools, everything like that. This system has been set up and has been operational in this configuration for 4 or 5 years. Wow. No issues. Wow. I have 8 golf cart batteries that store energy so I can use it at any time. But the well pump runs directly off it. I have an AC/DC well pump that runs directly off of this.
And you water everything with that?
Yes. This is all, I have a water tank up there, and these are all on drip. Now, because I don't have any irrigation, you're limited to 1 acre of non-irrigated stuff. Right. So the nice thing about how I have the irrigation is that it's all on timer. I put in sprinkler timers. I can leave this for 2 weeks. Everything gets watered unless something chews through a line. Even animals. Now the water line, there's my sprinkler system. The water line comes through here. This would be like future greenhouse or raised beds. And then my water line goes up there, but it comes from that tank. So the well pumps up to that tank, and then gravity flows back down for my drip systems. And, you know, gravity is a pump that never fails, you know, versus having to rely on pump or electricity or something like that. So this is my wind turbine tower. I have it down because my wind turbine was returned for warranty repair, but I should get it any day. I was hoping to get it before you guys got here so I could put it up and show you. But so this basically just tilts so I can get to the turbine without having wires on. Also, this is my well, and this allows me to use this to pull my well. So I have a 360-foot well, and if I needed to pull out the well, I use this, attach it, I have a hand crank, I can pull the well. But the wind turbines gets on top of this. These are the wires wind turbine, and that was my first wind turbine.
It's too small?
It was a 24-volt modified automobile alternator, but the birds got into it, and it just didn't survive the high wind we have up here. Wind is a big issue here, so you know that's why I have the turbines. But you know that the wind turbines do supplement on like when it's overcast like today, so that makes it really nice. But they're mechanical. I much prefer the solar because there's no moving parts. Warranted for like 25 years. Yeah.
Can we have a little tour?
Sure. Actually, this could be a tiny house. This would be very easy to convert to a tiny house if we wanted to.
Well, and it's nice that you have a little extra space to sit under so you can get out of the tiny house.
And this has been like a workspace. So, you know, shade in the winter, fine. So this is like a workspace. And again, I love pavers because it's permeable. You can take them up if you need to get to something.
And okay, so one thing my parents found with their little cabin that was like this was that they would have a lot of people breaking into it, and they had to put bars on windows.
I've never had any problem, and I have equipment out, but it's always a possibility. But to get up here, they have to come up your road. Most criminals are lazy, and unless they think they could get up here easily and get out, plus they know people here have guns.
Yeah.
So again, it's a possibility, but I don't worry about it.
So this is like a headquarters from which to build other projects here. So
Right. I have tools. I have equipment. I have generators. I can build things up here for the property. It's a shelter. I have food. I have a refrigerator that runs off of solar, microwave, so I fix myself meals when we're up here.
Teapot.
What?
Teapot. My teapot.
Yeah, and if we had to, in emergency, this stuff could come out. I could get a container. We can make this into a little living place for two of us.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever
And
freeze.
it's really insulated.
Yeah, we come up here at 0 degrees and it'll be above freezing here.
Yeah.
With no. My solar system. I have a Grundfos pump that's pumping right now. That takes AC/DC. This tells me I'm using 400 watts in power. This is a connection box, and it has an automatic generator tie. If I want to run a generator, I can pump water generator at night if I want to. So I can run with a generator. I can run off solar panels. This is my Outback charge controller. This basically makes sure that the power from the solar panels is tracked at the best voltage to most efficiency. This is my 2,000 watt inverter. This converts the DC to AC. Okay, and then this is called a diversion load. This is for the wind turbine. So if the batteries are full, the wind turbine needs a load on it so it doesn't overspin. Okay. Especially if it doesn't have an internal regulator. Right. So what happens is I can turn this on when there's more power than necessary. So that's on. This creates the load for the wind turbine. Gotcha. Because I don't use this for anything in the winter. This is basically abandoned in the wintertime. Right. I don't need to use it for anything.
So that would heat up as a bunch of resistors.
Yeah, right? This building never freezes, and there's no heat in it other than... Let me show you the golf cart batteries underneath here. I'll pull it up. So when you have batteries in an enclosed space, you got to vent them, because when batteries are being charged, they produce hydrogen. So you need to vent them. So I want to move this out, but right now I have a vent here. But you can see these batteries have been going on 5 years. Those are golf cart batteries that are 6 volt. They're wired in two 24 volt strings.
Okay. Yes.
So that provides me plenty of amp hours for everything that I need. So I'm producing 1,900 watts at full power. I'm only using actually 533 watts to pump water. And then I have a kilowatt. I don't know if you guys know what a kilowatt meter is. So a kilowatt meter tells you what you're using for power. So like if I turn on my list right now, my refrigerator and my battery charger and the LED lights are using 124 watts. This is a concrete block with the surface bonding, and then I just built wood on top. And I just didn't finish, but you can see this is how it's dry stacked. So this is dry stacked before the surface bonding, but I didn't see any need to finish it, but that is on both sides. And you can so what?
Where are you gonna go?
Oh, in the basement?
Yeah.
So
there's a basement.
storage is like a little fruit cellar.
Oh, what a good idea.
So
Come back here, babe.
Wow.
yeah. So I have my pipes one underneath, and I have a bunch of storage underneath there. And actually, if you look out where the ground level is, that's what this was when I built this. I just piled dirt around it, and I wanted it higher than the snow level, and so that it would go down. But this, we've kept apples in here all year.
No problem.
Yeah, because it's got a little bit of moisture, but it's generally dry, and it's
not horrible.
And that's concrete again as the wall.
concrete block. Yeah.
So you don't have
this concrete
mice
block
and
goes all the way to the footing.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is my automatic sprinkler system because I don't want to have to water every day. So this waters everything however you want, and you can connect this to water animals. I don't have animals up here only because I'm not up here, and we have coyotes, occasional bears, and cougars. So, but the water system waters everything on drip system. Been working for a couple of years, works great. A highway sign thing, and I got an auction. And the thing I liked about it, which I wanted to buy one last year, was that it already has a built-up mechanism for tilting in place, so it stores its own thing, and it has portable power. So this is like a portable workstation. And this is a legal trailer. I can take this down the road. These panels are Harbor Freight, so it's for $129 you get 3 panels, you get a Sarge controller, and you get 2 lights that will run off it, 2 fluorescent lights. So I can tilt this in the winter to get whatever I want to do for that. So here's one of the Harbor Freight things. So this is my voltage of my battery. Now this is a pure sine wave inverter, so I can charge my phone, charge the computers. And then I have a modified sine wave inverter that I can use to run all my power equipment. So this generator came with it. This is what ran the sine. There's a gas tank underneath. I put in all this stuff. So again, this is a charge controller, battery disconnect. I have 3 12-volt D-cycle RV batteries that run a 2,000 to 4,000 watt surge inverter. So I can put the chop saw on my thing there, pull this anywhere in the property, and start building raised beds. Build whatever I want and not have to run a generator. What I intend to do this in the summer is this is going to aerate my pond. So if I'm not building something, I'm going to go up there, I'm going to have a pump running off this, because my pond has a lot of algae in it. So this is going to aerate the pond. And again, you know, I got this trailer at auction for like 350 bucks.
Wow.
So the solar panels and everything else probably cost me another 500 bucks. So for less than $1,000, I have a portable workstation, and it's a legal trailer. On the back, I put a. And nice thing about this is electric start.
Oh yeah.
So I can charge the batteries with this, or the panels, or if I really need a lot of power, I can run them both together. Yeah. I built these over the curved thing, so I had benches to work on, and I could put the chop saw here. And then I put in a receiver hitch, so I have a table. So I put the chop saw here and a work site. So I could pull this into the garden if we're going to dry vegetables, we're going to dry stuff, or we're going to process food, or do whatever. I have a work spot that is shade.
And you put a shade cloth over
And we
the
have
top.
like 40 miles an hour wind, and the shade cloth works better in tarp because the wind is able to go through. It doesn't rip it off. And again, I use the super strut. This would come off if I was transporting it down the road. But this is just a shade structure to give me shade because I don't have trees. Yeah, and it makes it nice to have.
And how many?
Hazelnut, cherry, pear, peaches, plum. We have raspberries, blackberries, and my favorite are the golden raspberries.
Ooh, that sounds good. How long did it take you to get your deer fence up? That's a pretty substantial fence.
Yeah, Kevin put that up right
At the
pretty much
beginning?
right away, yeah. And we have some grapes here. Girls, here are the hazelnuts. Okay. And see how they grow?
Wow.
They grow here, and then they come out of the husk there. See? You want to take that out?
They're pretty.
Yeah. So those are going to be green, so they'll need to dry out before they're ready to eat.
So get some of those hazelnuts.
And you have everything on a drip system, so you don't have to be here.
And he had netting over this, so the strawberries.
Those are a good idea.
Yeah, we had so the netting will cover it all, and we had come out here to check on it. And there was right here. Girls, do you want to pick the raspberry? It's really good, and they're not.
I've tried this kind before.
You
They're
have,
good.
and they're not sprayed.
There's some beautiful canes.
Yeah.
And you guys have 50 acres, but you're only irrigating 1 acre at this point.
Right. Right.
Because that's what you can do off a private well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And raised beds.
Yeah.
After a couple years, the hugelkultur and the soil architecture will get to where I want it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just do the next section.
Good for you.
And so if you look at here, these are our prunings, wood, cardboard.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that's under this. But
That's
I'll put the
awesome.
wood chips down and build the raised beds and let the soil build its thing. And we let some weeds grow because, build soil architecture, microbes, you guys know all about that.
Yeah.
And, we have comfrey, we have yarrow that really help with the soil. Right. And have others. So you know what this is? These are right here?
Are they kiwis?
Yeah, it's kiwi.
Oh, you guys can grow kiwis.
It's kiwi.
Here.
Now this is the second year, so we haven't got any fruit, but they're the little grape-sized fruit that taste like kiwi. Yeah, so this is hardy kiwi, and this will fill this up. This is the second year. When I planted them last year, they were just about to here. So maybe next year we'll have kiwi.
They're so much happier here than they are in my house. Oh my gosh, I have killed so many kiwi just by planting them.
And the thing I think most people underrate is the nut trees. I mean, we have the butternut, we have the pecan, we have the walnut, hazelnut, which I really like because the nuts, I mean, they're easy to store.
And they balance out your diet.
They are great for your diet. And I don't see as many people, doing nut trees in the community.
Yeah.
Fruit, fruit and vegetables, but I think the nut trees should be right there.
They should be.
With the fruit, yeah.
I'd like to show you also we planted some squash against the fence because it gets the spray from the
from
the drip.
Yeah. And so did they, and they just stayed alive and stayed volunteer?
Right, I planted them.
You planted them.
Yeah, I planted them by seed.
Yeah. And so unfertilized.
Right, they're not fertilized.
That's pretty neat. Well, and you do have quite a bit of mulch down.
Yeah.
So your soil is quite protected. So it's not like every time you get a drying wind, it just rips all the water out of your soil.
No, and we get this from the landfill. They sell it.
Really? Oh, we have a hard time finding it where we are.
Yeah.
Just about have to beg.
I just acquired stuff through scavenging and Craigslist, and people give me things, and I have a boneyard of stuff that I just store stuff, and then
that's the one commonality between everywhere that we've been. Everybody has a boneyard.
Yeah.
So boneyard from free and from Craigslist.
So this is just dry stack, nothing there. This is just dry stack, just held together with. I have some hurricane panels, but this just kind of keeps some stuff out of the weather for snow that I want to have protected. And this was just extra building material that I haven't used, so I just kind of made a little shed thing for it.
And how many years do you think you'll be in the yurt?
Next year.
You'll be in it next year, and are you going to be building another house while you're in it, or just staying in the yurt?
Well, the plan is that the yurt would be a summer residence when we're up here with the property, and then would be like snowbirds in the winter. But if you stand here, you'll see our view. We have a deck from the yurt. And the reason for this site is a couple reasons. One, we can see our buildings, we can see our orchard, and we can see the back of our property. So, and it's below the water, so we still have the water water pressure. So this is kind of like, and so think of concrete pavers with a rock wall kind of surrounding it with a yurt here.
That would be really nice.
And then solar panels behind us for power.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have an address, and I want to try and keep it off grid and keep it. But I'd make it comfortable. I mean, I would have air conditioning. I'd have.
It's obvious you got the skills.
Oh yeah. I tiered down so that we could put tree stuff there. The pond is right there, and I could irrigate from the pond on a gravity system that would just go back and forth on the tier. There's 3 tiers. So if I grade it correctly, snow melt, water, and everything won't run off. It'll soak in, so it doesn't erode. It stays in the ground, and then it tears back and forth.
You should start your own YouTube channel to document this journey.
It's too much effort.
But it would be so amazing to see the progression.
Well, you just have to come back. I think the pond is on the other side here, and here is the outlet for the pond. So I have a valve box right here, and I can take water out of the pond out of pipe here. So that's why I was thinking, I have water out of the pipe without any pumps, just by turning this on. Plus, snow melt and everything, because I have a swale to capture snow melt. We'll come down and kind of irrigate it. The water in the rest of the pond was getting cattails, which I really want cattails, but you had difficulty getting water out of it.
Yeah.
But so that's going to be my cattail pond, and then this is just to get to forever. But I need something to circulate the water.
Yeah.
So I don't have this.
Right.
So that's why I put the liner in, which works good. I don't have any plants, but I also don't have any plants to help clean the water, and I don't have any circulation.
Yeah.
So this, I've been keep making this bigger and bigger. I have a swale that goes a quarter mile up my property that this overflows in the spring with snowmelt. This overflows. So I have the capacity to take 4 or 5 times this amount of water and store it. And I have this designed so that when this is full, it overflows into here. So this is the one that stays most of the water. And there's water here year round. It's just not quality water.
Right.
But I want to keep making this bigger, and then hopefully right here make a natural pond. You know, I'll have a pond with water lilies and stuff, so you can use it to swim in, but it also has all of the bio stuff to make the water clean. You know, have some fish in it, have, you know, different things, cattails, but you'd make a step with concrete block, and then you have at the higher level you'd have your plants to help purify the water, and then I could circulate it back and forth with solar power. So there's more solar panels for that building. And that building's built the same way, concrete block, surface bonded. The building on top is wood, but below is all concrete. And right next to it, where I'm building this, will be the next concrete tank, or the water tank. So I have the same here. These pads, these are stall pads. This is what I'll put my water tank on. Because these really protect the tank, you know, from bugs and stuff, or mice. And it's a nice soft surface. I had the same thing inside there with that water tank, which I'll show you. But if you can think, I'll have another building similar to this, a little smaller, right here, with a 2,500 gallon water tank, which will be my primary agricultural. Right now I'm using the 1,500 gallon tank, but if I have a residence in here, that would be the residence tank, this would be the agricultural tank.
Right.
So if you replicate in your mind, think of a building just like that, except smaller, with a 2,500 gallon tank right here that goes down there. Because my well pumps water up to here. Right. When this tank is full, the water goes into the pond. I have a float valve just like a toilet.
Yeah.
When this tank is full, float valve closes, water goes into the pond. So I never have to have a way to shut off. It just pumps whenever there's water.
That's lovely. What a great way to remove the waste.
So here's my water tank, right here.
That's awesome.
So, and this is those stall mats. So there's dirt just underneath that. These stall mats are right here. So this is the water tank. So basically, water comes up here into the tank. If the tank is full, float valve closes. Water comes up here, goes out to the pond. So, you know, it's just self-automated. And then I can pull water from here. If I want to pull water from here, I can pull water, you know, for up here for something else. And so, of course, this is all the surface bonding too. You can see surface bonded. And then I just have storage. This is steel things that I've acquired, things that I just store, and you got to be careful not to be too much of a pat rack. So this is what's in the tank, and you can get these for different sizes and different size tanks. So, the float valve, there's a steel thing that screws in here. This screws in, and then it opens the valve and closes it. So water comes in here when the valve goes like this.
It is. It's just like your toilet bowl.
Yeah, it's the same. It operates under the exact same thing, and they have these different sizes. So, like if you have animals that you want to water in a tank that it will be automatically watered. They have small ones that you can put on a little thing, and it'll automatically water and shut off when the thing's full. But whatever level you set, so you don't have to water your animals, just check to make sure.
That's awesome.
So this is in here. So, you know, water comes in, and then when the water level gets up, it closes this, and then it diverts it. And so I have it diverting up and out.
That's awesome.
You know, and this is just standard PVC. This is Schedule 80 standard PVC stuff. You know, you don't have to be a plumber to do it. Just remember that gravity runs down, you know, water runs downhill, and that you need to have a vacuum leak. So I have a vacuum thing there because you need air to come into the system so that, you know, just like when you're pouring gas or something, if you don't have a way for it to come out, it'll gurgle.
I think I'm going to need to turn this into like a 4-part series.
So see the concrete block? See the surface bonding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just dry stacked, and this is the surface bonding. And the surface bonding's been around for a long time, and it actually makes a waterproof thing. Like I said, it was designed for cisterns. Works really well. And I have this wide like this, so I can take this out and replace the tank if I wanted to. You know, think ahead, not just 1 or 2 years. Think ahead for 10. When your kids are going to be grown, when your things change. You know, if you can be flexible, if you can think ahead, if you can multi-purpose.
Right.
You know, you're ahead.
Much further
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, this goes in there to provide light and power.
Right, gotcha.
Now again, these are solar Harbor Freight.
Right.
You can get them on sale for $129. Only thing it doesn't have is a battery. So if you have a remote site, you can have 45 watts. This is 15, 15, and 15. You can have 45 watts of power.
Gotcha.
And if you have a battery, you can pull more. You have a 750 watt inverter.
Right.
If you have a battery.
Yep.
And any one of these buildings, you could really just renovate and you could live in it if push came to shove.
Yeah. I got tile in here. Yeah, so this is storage right now, but I tiled it just because I wanted it nice. So
It's so cute.
so you know, we use it. We just use it for storage, but you could, you know, I haven't finished it. I'm supposed to have glass blocks up here, and I haven't finished painting it. But it's like a little deck, and
You got a little bit of a bed in there?
yeah, that's a bed that I made, and we have stuff on it. This is my house that we were at. All these windows in here came from my house. Like when I went to vinyl windows because there was a tax credit.
Yeah.
Well, the windows were still good, and they were aluminum windows, so for fire issues.
Yeah.
So these are all. This is my bathroom. These are all windows that came from my house. My little solar dehydrator windows from my house. So I have a little poop toilet thing here, a little bucket handicap, just in case if somebody was up here. You know,
Yeah.
I could do a lot more up here. I just have been working. You know, the trees take time.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get this work on priority on the stuff that takes years to get going, and then as time and effort, you know, I'll come back and do things like this.
Well, but one other thing is could be a source of income once you guys are actually up here. You could do like an Airbnb once you guys were living up here if you wanted to.
Right.
Or to have another family come stay up here during the summer.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 kids, and my vision is this is like a trust recreation thing for them and their kids, and maybe their grandkids, you know, where they can come and see grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, and have space and privacy too.
Place to have
In the spring, it is gorgeous. This is the driest, worst
really
time
green.
of year. Oh, not only green, we have wildflowers
Really?
all over the place. They do wildflower walks. Even on our property, we have tons of wildflowers. You're seeing it at its absolute ugliest.
It just looks like home to me.
It's just... We had lots of extra fruit that we were going to dehydrate because in California we live there. You know, we had lots of fruit and dehydrated, but I wanted something simple. I didn't want to use sulfur, so I was building different things. I got a smoker to use as a dehydrator, but I ended up coming up with just a ridiculously simple solution that works so good. So I had this little trailer, black trailer, and I have this window from my house. I just put there's holes in the trailer that airflow up, and I cut this so there's just a little bit so hot air can go out, so there's a little take the moisture out. And basically with the black absorbing the heat and the fruit on here.
Did you? Now you said it was ugly. Do you have any up here?
Yeah, Kevin, do you have some dried fruit?
Because I wanted to show it.
Okay, the only thing is with this, because unless you monitor it, since we're not all in the time,
It cooks things.
sometimes it gets really crunchy. So some of ours got really crunchy and not.
And how many years have you been doing this? And how long did it take to really get things set up? Or has it been every year you just think, oh, this would be nicer? It's probably
This was something that was kind of like a couple years ago. I saw one in an auction. I thought, hey, that would make a great thing. So this was not something planned in advance, but something that I thought that would work, and it's worked great. The other buildings and stuff are kind of things that I had in mind, but I've had the skills and the desire. It's just that the time and the money didn't happen till later after our kids were gone, and you know that because
they take a lot of both.
It does, and effort, and my thing is that you know if you build it and design it yourself, you know if you make mistakes, you know how it went together. And again, YouTube, thank God for YouTube, because I've learned more stuff, fixed more stuff from YouTube. And anybody who has YouTube and has a little bit of a desire and will acquire skills over time, you can do this. This is not As they say, rocket science.
Pretty neat though.
Not
Might be not be rocket science, but it's pretty ingenious.
So you have to ask, where did you find your